Hey, welcome back to Trust or Rust. We are in Eastern Washington at Valentine's Farms. This is near Othello, Washington. This is our spring pull. We got about 80 degrees today and tomorrow. It's going to be beautiful weather. A little breezy, but that's okay. It'll keep us cool, right? Last count, there's about 35 tractors here, way out in the middle of the desert and farm country. We've got visitors from back east, and here's a couple of them. Got Nick Fisher and Josh, and this is apparently this year's St. Jude's raffle tractor. So they've been throwing parts at it, and they're out to try it out from way back east. I mean, I live in the state, and I got to drive at least 4 hours to get here. Man, they did a long haul. So let's go take a quick walk around and see what's new this year. Here we got Mark Valentine's big bad Ford, the one I call the Funky Ford. It's kind of a twist on the funk conversion. Over here, I've seen this big John Deere on Facebook in the past, but now it's here. I haven't met the gentleman that owns it, but she sounds bad, and she looks good, stands right, gorgeous. It's another one of Mark Valentine's builds, is a John Deere D. He built that years ago, just like he built mine. Keep walking. Dan and Lindsay Waters, Farmall 230 and Massey 44. They're right next door with Waters Tractors. They're a tractor parts yard. Here's my WC that Mark Valentine also built. A Moline 335. Yeah, oh, I passed up this St. Jude's raffle tractor. This is from the 2023. There you go. This gentleman did not win it, but he bought it from the guy that did win it. All right, what else we got out here? I think that's about it for new stuff. My parents just showed up 15 minutes before the pull started. We got them unloaded. We got some more Farmalls here, Farmall BN. This is a nice running Oliver Super 66. This one we haven't seen. This is a new build. We'll see how much he did to that. A nice Ford 800. Boy, it's a good looking tractor. Very nice. And then we got the big 770. That will do the 12-mile-an-hour speed limit. This 770 and Mark's Funky Ford, they will be pushing the speed limit at 12 miles an hour if they decide to pull that class. Here's one we haven't seen, I don't think. Got a Case SC. I don't think it's really built for pulling, but looks like they just got done painting it. They do have the wheelie bars and a hitch on it. All right, let's go see if I can find anything else. If not, we'll get started with the pull. Hey, here we go. We've seen these before. It's a 1955 Farmall 200, and then we have a Farmall 460 with the red diamond engine in it, and it runs very nice. They both do. Here's one we haven't seen. Got this Farmall H right here. I have not talked to the guy that brought it out. I don't know if he bought it, is borrowing it, or traded for it, or what, but something tells me it might have a stroke to it. A little more compression than normal.
Well, which one's what? I saw you got that C.
Alright, they're just calling the driver's meeting. We're going to head over there. Here's my dad's 770 Oliver. It's a good 8 mile an hour, I think. It's not a big build, but it's a good build. All right, let's get over there. Okay, driver's meeting is over. Here's we're on the track right now. Here's our full pull at the white cones. And over here, this track is fairly hard. It's got some rocks in it, a little bit of gravel, not bad. To our right, we got a beautiful hay fields and some weed burn control going on over there in the distance. That won't affect us. As we're headed down the track is not flat. It is goes up and down a little bit, and this side, the left side of the track, is a little higher than the right. So it was like that last year, but we had a lot of tractors head for the blocks for whatever reason. Couldn't understand it. The track is a little softer in places down here, down towards the start of the track. It is not going to take a lot of, I mean, it's going to take horsepower, but it's not going to be a horsepower. What I like to say, it's not going to suck the horsepower out of your tractor. It's going to use your horsepower, but it's not like the Northwest Fall Nationals at the indoor pull, where it's just draining your tractor of all the horsepower you got. This one, your front end's going to come up. And hopefully you got your tire pressure right, and both tires are driving straight ahead, and you don't end up veering off to the left towards the ditch. So again, this is a field on a, well, this is a track on a field. There's the center pivot past that mullein, if you can see it. And that was all cornfield last year. So today's poll, Saturday or Friday, is going to be specialty classes. We're going to do the 2 bracket classes, 3200 and or 3250 and 5,000 pound bracket, and then we'll do King of the Hills today. I think we start at 32 or 3,000 and then go on up from there. I think 5,000 might be it. I didn't read it real close because I only signed up for the 3750. So King of the Hill will have 3 mile an hour speed limit. Ladder bracket classes will have 3 mile an hour speed limit. All the specialty classes, you're going to get deductions by tire size. If you have 18.438s, you're going to get 10 feet deducted off your total pull. If you have 16.938s, they're going to take off 5 feet. If you have 15.5s and smaller, you're good to go. And last year at the Northwest Fall Nationals, we saw some 15.5s beating up on bigger tractors with the deductions. So, and even without that, I mean, if you're within 5 feet of a tractor that's able to run 18.438s, and you're doing that with 13.6s, 13.638s, you're doing something right. You just don't have quite enough traction to beat them on those terms. So with the deduction, that evens the playing field, and that way 3 mile an hour tractors can pull with 12 mile an hour tractors, that sort of deal. All right, we got tractors running around. 3250 bracket class is getting ready to start. We have the Moline 335 on the sled. We're just waiting for the track crew, so hang tight, we'll get started. Okay, we're underway. It's a 3,200 pound class. I think I said 3,250. Here comes that Moline. Did not get very far. 110 feet. 110. I don't know if you can see. He took his nose bracket off, or weight bracket off, so he can make the 3,000 pound weight class. And his front end wasn't coming up, but it was. He was spinning the whole way out here, so the sled's set a bit tight. And let's take a look at the dirt that piled up. It's quite a bit. He's got some pretty good tread on it. And for 110 feet, that's quite a bit of dirt. So they're going to bring him back and try it again. Well, the track is drying out. I mean, I can see dark spots in it, but out here in the desert, that dry wind is coming right over the top of this dirt and just drying it up pretty quick. So we might stop after a couple classes or a few classes, and he might put more water on it. He's got a water wagon down there behind the sled, ready to go. And even if he does wet it during the pull, he's gonna wet the track again at the end of the day before he goes to bed, and then he'll probably put more on it in the morning, as you know we're going to reach 80 degree temperatures with this wind. It's not a super strong wind, but it's enough to keep the flag outright on the sled. So we'll keep an eye on the track conditions, the weather, and the center pivot right there. It's on a timer. It likes to kick on and get you when you're not looking, as evidenced by last year's videos. It got me. Alright, you saw Zach's front tires start to dance right at the very end at 260. So when the tires reach those white posts or white cones, that is a full pull. And apparently 260 is about the mark. That was pretty easy. As I mentioned, he has no front weight, and he got down here pretty good. So we'll see if they're going to bring him back. Well, we started hook number 3 for Zach, but doesn't look like the weight box is moving as they made another change. So back him up again.
It's always the first pull of the season. We got to work the bugs out.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I don't know if you heard the announcer, but yeah, it's always the first hook, the first puller of the new season. Mark didn't do any changes to the sled. It's just, you know, you put it in road mode, you haul it home, you park it after the fall nationals, and it sits there. And you forget the details, so bring it back out. You think you have it set up, you don't, and here we are. Gonna go for a 4th hook. Maybe this will be the one. Okay, that horn means he was speeding. He had to let white cone on both sides of the track to get it to 3 miles an hour, and he did. And there he goes again, another full pull. Put the clutch in at 259, so we'll probably reset the sled again. So right here, like I said, the track hasn't smoothed. So right about there where the back tire is, the track starts to go back up again. So he did start working a little sooner. And then
here and see what happens.
but he still made it. The front end never came up. So maybe the track's a little softer than we think this year. I guess we're all going to find out soon. It looks like they're going to let that pole stand, and we're going to move on with the class. So again, this is the bracket class. This is like drag racing or college basketball or any tournament. You got two tractors pull against each other. The winner of that moves on to the next round. Right now we're in round 1. That was the first half of the first pair. So I'll try and keep track of my little mind, but we'll see who Zach is pulling against here quick. Hey, here we got a tractor we haven't seen in a while around here. It's been put away in the shop. This is a McCormick W14. This will fit in the bed of your pickup. It is so small. It's another build that Mark Valentine did. and decided to bring it out today. All right, Mark is going to spin out at 245.05, 245 feet, 05. Out here, yeah, 239.45. Well, this is throwing me for a loop. They got the 335 back out on the track, and we're not done with the first round yet. So maybe they reset the sled, and he's pulling against Mark on that W14. They did reset the sled. Zach gets stopped at 251.89. 251.89. Right, here comes that farm off 230 we looked at earlier. She's near full pull. That might be 258. Let's take a look. Quick look. Yeah, she already moved, but there's the other post over there. She's across. That's full pull at 258. 0.64, I believe. So she's going to move on to the second round. And we'll see who the next pair is. Okay, they announced that that Farmall 230 is now pulling against this Alice CA coming up. This is the pair. Done. 253.84. 253. So the Farmall 230 moves on to the second round. All right, next pair we're going to start off with Farmall C. And he's going to get stopped at 249. 249.4. So, I just talked to Zach of the Moline 335, and he explained to me that they had too many tractors for the bracket class ladder that was set up. So basically it's a 16 bracket ladder or 16 tractors in the bracket, but there were 17, so they did like a qualifying round. So the W14 and 335 pulled off to see who's going to get seated in the bracket. That explains everything. Now we're back on track. All right, let's see who the next tractor is for this pair. All right, that Farmall C is pulling against this Farmall 200. Let's say C got 249. Mechanical difficulty will stall the 200 at 198 feet. So the Farmall C will be moving on. All right, next pair, we got another Farmall C on the track. This is the first hook of the next pair. And I can't see the reader board for where I'm at. 245.9. 245.9. Okay, we got a Ford, I think, a 800. This is the second half of that pair. He needs 245.9 or more to win. 246 really. Come up a bit short at 241. 241. Okay, up next we got Josh Colburn out of Kansas, I believe. This is the 2025 St. Jude's raffle tractor in its earliest configuration. They are going to be doing some changes to it. All right, 238.6. 238.6. And he's the first half of this pair. Again, that is the early configuration for the raffle tractor. It sounds like they might be doing an engine swap and some other work to it. So this is not what you're getting if you win. I like it. Shiny paint's nice and all, but rust is where my heart is, and that's got the rust. That looks good. It's about fine the way it is. I hope they don't paint it. I know there's a lot of people that love the shiny paint, and I've got some shiny paint, but that just tugs at my heartstrings there. I like that. So that Ford is pulling against this Farmall BM. Out of Blaine, Washington. I mean, they're like right up next to Canada. She's going to get stopped at 235. So it looks like the Ford is moving on to the next round. Okay, I think this is a Ford Jubilee. It's one of those that we looked at earlier. It's new out here. It's having traction issues. It's spinning on top. .240. 240 feet, .2. Alright, the second half of the pair is an Oliver Super 66. Needs to get 41 or Ford 800. This is called Pretty Nasty. Hope I said that right. And he's going to spin out at 200 and can't read it from here. 243.4. So he's the first hook of the next pair, and that is Nick Fisher, one of our guests from back east. We'll see if Nick's going to move on or not. Alright, this is the second half of that last pair, Farmall Super C. Going to be close. It's going to be a matter of inches. Oh no, I think he moves on. 239 and change. So I was just told that Pretty Nasty Ford had just pulled at 800 at 69.38. So minus 5 feet from the, what do you have, 243. So it puts him at 238. I'm not the official word, but I believe the Super C is going to move on.
Lion on deck. And then Zach Peterson, you'll...
Alright, the black WD-45 Alice gets down to 241 feet. He's the first tractor in this next pair, and I believe it's the final pair in it before we move on to round 2. Alright, we got Alice Chalmers C, I believe, C or CA. He's having some difficulty down there. I don't know if it's fuel or ignition or what's going on, but looks like he might have it figured out. He'll put the clutch in at 224, I believe. 224. So, that last tractor is going to move on to the next round. And I believe we're starting round 2 right now. Okay, the first round we had 17 tractors, like I said. The Moline and the W14 paired off to fight for a spot. So they qualified. The Molines moved on to the second round. Behind on his speed is at 2.5. It's 2.6, 7, 8. You don't want to get too close. I like 2.7, 2.8. And with no room to put a nose weight on this, that's all he's going to get at 243 feet, so 243 for the Moline 335. And he's the first tractor in the first pair of the second round. This is the second tractor of that first pair, Farmall 230. She has room to have the nose weight, so that Moline's in a bit of trouble already. 41.6. So, looks like the Moline made it to the next round. I'm surprised. He's at a huge disadvantage with no nose weight. And what we saw in the first round, that 230 should have got him, but wrong line in the track. Maybe they moved weights. I don't know, but the Moline moves on. to the third round. So I will say the track is drying out fast. It looks like powder right now, at least on top. This wind is drying it out real quick. I don't know what earlier in the week was like for them, but yeah, it's drying up pretty quick, and it sounded like Mark put a lot of water on this track, and it's just drying up. So it's going to be a little different than last year, which that's what kind of dirt work and farming is kind of like. But you know, tractor pulling's the same thing. Everybody's got to figure it out, right? Okay, second pair, we're going to start off with a Farmall C. Measure the beat for this pair. Farmall C is 241.6. So this is the second tractor of this pair, Farmall C. Makes it to 242 and change. I think that's enough for him to move on to the third round. Alright, here comes that 2025 St. Jude's raffle tractor. I heard it has a junkyard engine in it, so the build engine would be a far cry better than what it's got in it now, but seems to be holding its own in this class. And he's going to get stopped at 244 feet, 244. If you notice, right where he is in front of the sled, that's kind of where the track starts to come up. And where the sled is sitting is in a lower part of the track. So everybody's starting to spin out in this about 5-foot range. Alright, 244, and I think he's going to go up against the Oliver. So yeah, the Ford is the first tractor in that pair. Alright, looks like the Oliver's going to move on. He got 250 feet and some. 250 is enough to move on. He has the right tire sizes, so there's no deductions. And he tried a different line in the track, which I was just wondering after watching that last hook. I thought maybe come to the near side to me, to the left of the track. Might be a little better, and it worked out for him, it looks like. Alright, we're moving on to the next pair. Alright, Farmall Super C. Might be a little nose heavy. Oh, he's going to stop back there a ways. 208, 208.22.
Jim Goble, you're up.
Yeah, when I saw him start that problem, I looked up at the speed readout
Jack, your head in the hole.
that way. He's only doing 2 miles an hour in a 3 mile an hour class. So yeah, he was behind on his speed, so he didn't have the momentum. By the time he started getting on it, the dirt is getting soft. He might have had too much nose weight. There's just too many factors. That tractor runs better than it just hooked. So let's see. I don't see who's in line next. We'll find out soon. See who pulls against that Super C. Alright, this WD-45 needs to get over 208 feet. See how he does. He wasn't real smooth with the throttle response last time. Looks like he changed hand position. As long as he doesn't have to turn sharp, he'll be okay. 207, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, he's into the next round. And he's going to get stopped at 232. 232. And WD-45 moves on to the third round. All right, this is the semifinal round. This is the first tracker of the first pair. We've got 4 trackers left, meaning we have 2 pairs. Trying the higher side of the track. You can see his wheels turning. The tractor's wanting to drift down into that hole. Oh, here we go. That is 254 feet, 254. Here's the cones, and he's just inching across it now. So, not a full pull, but it's dang close. That is, that's what I was wondering about this side of the track. Nobody's really touched it. And he's really the second one that's had success over here. So, all right, 254. I believe he's pulling against the Farmall C. Okay, we got 2 guys from Oregon pairing off in this pair. Moline and this Farmall C. Both from Oregon. Traveled probably 5 or 6 hours to get here. $250, not enough. Not enough. Moline moves on to the final round. All right, first tracker of this next pair, Oliver 66. For this pair, you got the WD-45 Alice coming up next. All right, 253 should be the magic number for him. Oh, he slowed down too much. Killed his momentum. That might be all right to pass up the speed. Oh no! Well, he did pretty good though, considering he slowed down way too soon. 250 feet, so that Oliver's going to move on to the final round. So, our final round matchup is going to be the Oliver Super 66 versus Zach on the Minneapolis Moline 335. All right, championship round for the 3,200 pound bracket class, 3 mile an hour. Full pull would set him up real nice, but I think he's going to need at least 250 plus to take it. And he's going to get stopped at 250.5. 250.5. It's going to be close. But Oliver's been doing real good today. Let's see what happens. All right, 250.5 is what he needs to take it all. Win the class. Right at 2.8 miles an hour right now. 53 for the win. This is the 3250, excuse me, this is the 3,200 pound, 3 mile an hour class winner for the bracket class. Congratulations, Sean. Nice hook. All right, everybody, that's going to be it for this segment of our spring poll here in Othello, Washington. maybe we'll try and shorten up the videos just a little bit. Maybe we'll put more videos out throughout the week instead of just one a week.
Class, we have Dan Waters.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.